Hopefully, you are enjoying your Saturday evening. So today we are progressing with our calculator project. Just a quick announcement. So you don't have to burden yourself by writing the code from scratch. I have Yeah, is it? Oh wait, is it Friday for you? I think it's Saturday, isn't it? Yeah, it's Saturday. Sorry, if you go on the Slack, on the Slack channel, the grouping, the coding group, and then go to the latest message, I left the code from yesterday, so I posted it here. Um, yeah, goodbye. Did say Saturday. I don't know if I confused you. Yeah, so if you want to follow along, I posted yesterday's code here. So what we did yesterday for Tatender's sake, welcome back, is we basically built our interface, like how our calculator looks. And then yeah, so today we're going to add functionality so that when we actually click these numbers, okay, we can do something. All right. Okay. So that's today's lesson. All right. So just bear with me. I'll just start the lesson shortly. Okay. So to those who want to get the code, yeah, just go to the Slack channel. I hope you have the link. Just download this folder here. And once you're done, just open it in your Visual Studio Code. And then make sure to run it, and then you'll get exactly this. Okay, cool, cool. Right. So, what do we have? Yes, Kuba, Kuba, I can see your hand. Well, what's your question?
So when I tried to save my code so that Google Chrome, like so that something can happen, nothing really happens.
Are you using my code or your code?
Your code.
Wait. Can you please share your screen so I can have a look? That's not my code from what I can tell. Is it?
It is. I downloaded it on Slack.
Okay, let me have a look. Yeah, that does look like my code. Okay. So you're saving it, but nothing is happening. All right. Let's do this. Yeah, that's not my code. You're basically copying and pasting. You didn't actually use the folder that I gave you. So, yeah, can you show me where you saved the code from Slack? So you actually have to get the folder itself, not copy and paste, because I know you guys will make mistakes and you'll be frustrated. So I did all the hard work for you. Yeah.
Um,
So I don't
so
know. Yeah. Let's check here. I'm curious to check here. Okay, wait. There it is. All right. So you see this? All right. So we can delete this one because it's a duplicate. Um, yeah, we can get rid of this one as well because we already have it here. Okay, so you see this, right? So you see this stuff here? This is what you want to drag to your desktop. Okay. And then where's your Visual Studio? Okay, so in here, what you want to do essentially is you want to get rid of this folder. So you go close folder. Okay. So we're going from scratch. It's like you're starting a brand new project. Then you go open, you go desktop, then you open this. Okay. And then all we need to do is we just need to go oh sorry, go live, and there you go. You see. So we just reset this and then close that, close that, close that, close that, close that. And then we have, see, there we go. Yeah. So you just needed to take the folder I gave you and then put it there, and then that's it. That's all you had to do. So what we're going to do next is we're going to be doing stuff in here. So now you need to be in this file here. Okay. Yep. Easy now. Easy. All right. Awesome. I'll stop controlling your machine and then I'll let you take over. So yes, that's essentially okay, no worries. Right. So yeah, that's what I essentially expected all of you guys to do. So if your calculator doesn't look pretty, if it looks a bit funny, yeah, just get that code so we all have the exact same code. All right, enough of me rambling. So let's start doing the maths. Okay. Right. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create an object which holds two numbers, because remember what we discussed yesterday. Imagine we go 100 and then we push the plus. This should disappear. Then we should say number 12 and then we click equals, right? So essentially what this should do is whenever we click equals or like these numbers, it should add whatever we type here. But we need to save those values first, okay? Excuse me. How do you do that? So let's just create two variables. Variable, okay, so we'll go variable number one, okay, variable number one. Let's make it undefined. Okay, and I'll explain what undefined means. Variable number two is equal to undefined as well. Okay. Cooper, come on. It's okay. I remember I'm not 100%, so my voice is not, back to spec. Okay, so apologies if I sound a bit lower. All right. Okay. Now we've got two numbers, and I'll explain what we need to do. As I explained to you guys the last two lessons, we have this thing called an input where we type our stuff, here, right? And we want to get the value. We want to get the value that we get here whenever we push these orange buttons here, okay? So if I were to click divide, we want to get any number that's existing here, be it it's 2000, be it it's 0.5, or be it it's 12, etc., etc., etc. Okay? How do we do that? So let's call this element in JavaScript, okay? So let's go constant inputs equals document, because document is the HTML, okay? The HTML file is a document. And then we go query. If in English, if you say query, you're asking for something, okay? So when we say query selector, we're saying ask for this selector. A selector is basically a class. That's what it is. Okay, if you're confused. So all the time we've been doing div class calculator, input class input. Those are selectors. Okay. So we call this function document.query selector, and then we go input. Okay, and I'll show you guys what this will do. So if we go console.log input, right, and we go to console. Okay, why is it not right? No, let me try something. Let me do this in here first, and then we'll see. There you go. See? So you see that input we have in our HTML file? We called it in JavaScript. And if you want, we can go revealing inputs panel, then it'll take us to this, okay? So there you go. Right. What do we need to do next? Oh, we need to get the list of our buttons, okay? We need to get a list of our buttons. So what I'll do, and I'll quickly fix this. I made a mistake. Let's create a function, okay? Let's create a function where we just call it calculator, okay? Calculator. And remember, a function has these two round brackets, okay? Because function, so it's we tell JavaScript it's a function, then we give it the name, okay? So we give it a name, and then we give it these parentheses. Now, this is where you can pass information like argument 1, argument 2, and etc., etc. But we're not doing that. We're just going calculator, okay? And then inside this calculator is where we're going to be calling our stuff, right? This is where we're going to be defining our elements. Okay, if I'm going too fast, please raise your hand, slow me down. I'm happy to re-explain what I'm doing. Okay, so our function hasn't been invoked. All right, we haven't called it yet, but we have to. Every time we load the page, we want the function to pretty much run, essentially. All right, because if we do this, right, nothing happens. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to call it inside the window event. We need to just say calculator like that, and then save it, and then there you go. Okay. I can see Kuba is very eager, so I'm hoping you're keeping up, Kuba, or else I'll have to explain again. All right. Okay. So we've got the input. Now we want to get the buttons. So let's just go constant buttons. Buttons equals document dot query selector all. Now, another disclaimer: if you're not able to follow this code, don't worry. I'll post this as soon as we finish this lesson. I'll post it on the Slack channel as well, so you can have it for tomorrow's lesson. All right. So we want to call our button again. Now you may be asking me, why didn't we say dot button here? Like, aren't we calling a class? And the difference between query selector and query selector all is query selector all allows us to call everything that's a button. Okay, so if you remember our structure before, we have buttons here that have class divide. We have buttons here that have class add, and then class multiply, class equals, and class subtract. But we don't want to go constant button 1 equals query selector dot divide, and then constant button 2 equals document query selector. That's going to be ridiculous. Like, imagine if we had to write this so many times like this. Wait. like that. That's not clean code, okay? Imagine if we had to do this. I know Cooper would freak out, so we don't have to do it this way. We can do it with one line like this, okay? And I'll show you. If we go console.log and we go buttons, okay? Watch what happens in the console. See? We've got all our buttons in here. You see? We didn't have to write 16 lines and say constant button 1, constant button 2, and everything. So we just had everything, all because we use document.query selector all. You see this all here? This is the difference between number 13, line number 13, and line number 10. Okay. All right. Now we've got our buttons. Now we need to do some conditional statements. I hope you guys still remember the whole if else thing I taught you last time. Okay. We need to do if else statements now. Why? Because supposedly we clicked these buttons. We need this to display the value on the screen. And I'll show you why. Okay. So what we need to do now is we need to do what's called a loop. We need to read the information from all the buttons that we have. Okay. And then I'll show you how we do it. There's something called a for loop in programming, but this one's going to be really easy and I'll show you guys what it means. Okay. So just bear with me 1 second. Right. Okay. So we've got our collection here. So this is a collection of buttons. Okay. And this is the input of our calculator. Right. So here I'll write, let us get data from our buttons. Okay. And how do we do that? Easy. So JavaScript has a function called for each, which helps us, read the information from all our buttons. Okay. Goodbye. No. Okay. Where are you stuck? If I'm going too fast.
I'm at console.log button, and then when you started writing the notes, I thought you were going too fast.
Oh, no. I'm doing these as comments for you. So when you read the code, it will make sense in your own time. So when you read it, you can understand and go, oh, okay, this is what was happening here and here and here. Yeah. But thank you for your comments. I'll try and slow down a bit. Okay. So I forgot to write a comment here. I'll say run the calculator function. All right, cool. There we go. All right. So what we do now is I promised we just go buttons. Oh, sorry. We go buttons. And then we call the function, like I said, called dot for each. So dots, you see, it already tells us for each. You see that? So this function, what does it take? Really simple. It takes another function as an argument, okay? And I'll show you what to do. So buttons for each, okay? You can do it like this. You go function, okay? But you don't have to give the function a name. It's what's called a callback function. Welcome, Salim. Welcome to the lesson. It's okay, you didn't miss much. Kupai still, struggling. She can't type fast. Okay, so it's okay. So we go buttons dot for each, and then we go function, Okay. All right. And then we just open the curly braces. Now, in programming, this is what's called a callback function. I'll explain this in more detail, but you just know that this is what's called a callback function. And I'll explain what it does in a minute. So then we pass an argument here. We say button, okay, because we want to get the info on each button that we click. All right. So let's just do a console.log and see what button holds. Okay, shall we? Right, you see? Now it's giving us information on all these buttons around here. Okay, I'll comment all this out that we did before. I'll get rid of this line. We don't really need it. And maybe I'll comment it out. It's okay. Right, so you see, it's giving us all these buttons that we did on our screen. You see? Okay. But this is not the end because we need to get the info. Now, when I say data, okay, I'm saying if we click number 7, we should display number 7 on this black part here, okay? That's the information that we want, all right? And how do we do that? So now that we know we're getting each button, okay, we've looped, as in we've read the data for each button in the collection. What do we do next? We go button dot add event listener. Now, why did I use event listener? Simple. Right now, if we click the buttons, nothing is happening. Okay. If we click the buttons, nothing is happening. So we need to use the add event listener function to do something. Okay. So we then go click, right? So if the button's clicked, we want it to do something. Okay. So we then go function. Okay. This is something else called a callback function. So if you ever encounter something like this in JavaScript, where in a function, you pass a function as an argument, it's called a callback. To those who might pursue programming in the future or software engineering, you'll encounter something called recursion, where a function calls itself, but that's too advanced for now. I'm going to try and keep it as basic as possible. Right. So if we click the button, we want to get the value of the button. How do we do that? So this is HTML, okay? All of this is HTML. If we go, let's say, variable test, because we're testing, we're not doing anything, extravagant. We go button dot, and then we want to get you can do it 2 ways. You can go inner HTML. You see that? Inner HTML. Okay. That makes the most sense if you want. Or you can do button dot text content. It's up to you. You can choose either this option or this option. Okay. The easiest way I can explain it is like how people describe French fries. Okay. Some people call them hot chips. Some people call them French fries. Some people just call them chips. It's up to you. It's the same thing, but it's just how you choose to define it. Personally, I like to say in HTML because I know what I'm trying to get. So then let's do a console.log again, and then let's check what test is. All right, quickly. So Cooper, if I click the number 2, what do we expect to happen in the console?
Please repeat the question.
Okay, cool. Before I do that, please let me answer Salim. Salim, the code for today will be posted on Slack, like I posted yesterday's code. So if you can't copy during the lesson, just make sure that you go to the Slack channel afterwards, and I'll post the code here, then you can get it. Okay.
Okay, but how do we download it?
Oh, just whenever you see this thing here that says Project Calculator Zip, there should be an option there that says download. See that little button there that says download? Yeah, so you just download that and then put it on your machine.
But I don't know how to download it because if I download it, I see a white thing.
A white thing. Okay. All right. Let me answer Cooper, then I'll help you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Let me quickly answer Cooper, then I'll help you. All right, Cooper. Sorry. My question was now that we've added click events to these buttons, okay? What do we expect to see in the console if we click them?
If you like click any button or you can say number, then
Yeah.
in the console, those
Mhm.
numbers, if you're doing a sum, the answer and the numbers should pop up in the console.
Perfect. Thank you. Well done. So if I click 0, you see it's giving us 0. If we click plus, we're getting plus now. If we click 5, if we click 6, if we click 7, if we click equals, if we click full stop, minus, x is in multiplication, 1, 2, 3. You see? So Cooper, you were right. Well done to you. I can't give you brownie points, unfortunately, but I can say congratulations. You did well. So let me pause for a second. I need to help Salim so she can be with us in this lesson. So I'll stop sharing momentarily. And Salim, can I please ask you to share your screen?
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yep. Oh yeah, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling better or?
No, I'm not.
Oh, sorry. Hope you get well soon.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Oh, if you can't share your screen, that's okay. I can always help you when you're ready. Oh wait, I can see it now.
You
But
can
what
see
did you
my.
do? It's still saying Sasa has started sharing. Okay, I can see your screen now. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you got the code, but you're seeing a white thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like white. I think that it has many buttons like all these. Like, but they're
Uh,
different.
right. Okay. From my screen, I can see where it says Salim is Slack.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the one. So if you
Yeah,
open
it's the
that, what
one.
happens? Yeah, if you open that, what happens?
The Slack will come, but it's so slow because this is my old laptop.
Oh, okay. Right. So it's the old slow laptop. Okay.
Yeah. The new
All
one
right.
doesn't work anymore. I don't know why. Because it's not switching on.
Did your brother like kill it or what did he do?
He was throwing it many times, like 3 times.
Oh, God. No, we shouldn't do that. No, we should not do that.
But not higher. He was doing it lower.
Lower. Okay. But still, it's if we throw laptops around, yeah, they're gonna die very soon. You know? Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I can see when you're saying Kuba saying your brother murdered the laptop. Kuba, you can't say that. That's illegal.
What does murder mean?
Kuba, I don't know if you want to explain this one. Maybe it's too much for Salim. maybe.
Because I never done this at school.
It's something that Cooper should not even learn at school. Yes. Oh no, it's so slow. All right. Do you want me to help you after the lesson? And then that way you can have the code with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll help you after the lesson so that once I post the new code, you can get the new code and then you can have the latest code with you. All right. So we're finishing in 20 minutes, so I'll make sure to help you after that. All right. So Cooper, you and your mysteries. So what we want to do, okay? So we want to change this to number from button, okay? From button like that. Right. What do you say? That's okay, Tatenda. Thank you for the heads up. If you guys have to leave for anything in particular, load shedding, or if you have to help around the house, please do so. You don't have to stay if you have to go urgently, but thank you for letting me know. Okay, so now, Cooper, as I mentioned, if we type a number we wanted to pop on the screen, so now we go input, right? So remember this input here, which we called at the start, right? The black part. We go input, okay? What's going on? Input dot value, okay? Because we want to assign a value to it, equals number from button, okay? And then I'll show you now what happens. See? You see what's happening?
Yeah,
Uh,
but what about the multiplication? Like the
yeah,
plus?
the multiplic. Yeah, this one, right? So if we click them, they'll also come up on the screen. You
Okay.
see?
What
Yeah.
about
No, you're good. Good question. But now the thing is, we need to make sure that we only see the numbers, right? If we click, we don't want to see this necessarily. Okay. And then
okay?
I'll show you what we do. Okay. So the problem for now, I'll show you a problem that we have, and I hope you guys picked up on it. So supposedly we wanted to use the number 200, right? So we click 2, and then we click 0, and then we click 0 again. We expected it to show us 200 here, but it's showing us 0. What's going on, essentially? Yes, Salim, I can see your hand. What's your question?
Can I type it in the chat?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy for you to type in the chat. Yes. Yeah. So we have an issue here where if we want to do more than two numbers, like let's say I want to do 54, okay, it's only showing me 4. It's not showing me 54. Now, yes, Salim, you can be excused. Most definitely, you can be excused.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. So what do we do then? How do we make sure that every time we punch, not say punch, but every time we click the button here, something happens? Cooper, do you have any idea? Does anyone have any idea? Audrey,
Can you
anyone?
repeat the question?
Can I repeat the question? Okay. All right. My question is, okay, so supposedly we want to display, let's say we want the number 700, right? Like that, but from clicking here. So we click 7, okay? And then we click 0, and and then we click 0, but we don't see 700. Do you possibly have an idea of how we can fix that issue?
I have an idea.
How do we do it?
So you go to your calculator JS file. You go at the end of form button, press enter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So here.
Yes.
All right. Enter. Right.
And then
Mhm.
you're gonna say
I like the thought process. Keep going.
okay, so and then you're gonna write.
No, that's my
I
comment. That's
think
just
you're
me
right.
adding a comment. You can complete your answer if you want to.
Okay, and then you're gonna write the sentence.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I don't know.
Hey, good effort.
What's
Okay.
the question?
Okay, so the question, Salim, so if we type the number, right? Let's say we want to type the number 20. It's got two numbers, right? 2 and 0. Okay. But if we do it through the calculator, if we press the number 2 and then press the number 0, it's not showing 20. It's only showing 2 first and then 0. So yeah. So my question was, do you know how we can potentially fix that in our calculator?
Okay, let me think.
If we type, yes, we can definitely do this. No problem at all. But if we use the buttons, then we can't. If we go 2 0, it says 2 0.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'll show you the trick. So input value is only taking the current number we have from the button. So you see here where it says input.value is equal to number from button. Okay. So what do we do next? Let's see if we go plus number from button again. Let's see what happens. 7, 8. That didn't work. Okay. That did not work at all. No, goodbye. It did not work. Okay.
That wasn't cool.
That wasn't correct. Good. So what do we do? Okay. So in programming, there's something called an increment. Increment means you can do the action more than once, like you can add on to things. Okay. And how do we do that? So I'll show you the long version, but I prefer you guys master the short version. Okay. So you can do input dot value, right, is equal to input dot value. So you're repeating the value that's there, okay, plus number from button. Okay. So let's see how this works out. So we're basically saying the value that's currently assigned to the input, we want to take the same value and then we want to add the next value that's pressed. Okay. So if we go 2 and then 0, you see that? We get 20 now. See? It's the same thing. If we do 5, 2, 6, 3, 9, you see? We can actually get one value now. Okay. Like a multiple value. Like if we want to do pi, I think pi is 3.17, right? And something after that. Okay. Yeah. Do you have a question, Kuba?
So when you said by input value and then you said plus number format button,
Yeah.
the numbers popped up 88. How was that not correct?
That was not correct because we were adding the same number twice. I'll show you. I'll show you again. So, this is how we had it before, right? So we go 5. Okay. So currently our number is 5. Okay. So our number says it's 5. But what if we go 5 plus 5? What do we get? 55. And you might be saying, no, that's wrong. It should be 10. And I'll explain to you why. Because this is not a number. This is a string by default. And I'll prove it to you. So console.log, if you call back to the homework we did, type off number from button. Okay. So if we click 5 here, you see how it's the console is telling you it's a string. You see that? Yeah. It's telling you that the value there is not a number, it's a string. It is then up to us to then change it from a string, that's i.e. a collection of letters and numbers in a quotation. Remember, a string is something like var name equals Koopa, like that. That's a string. That's a string. Okay. Not car, sorry, variable. The same can be for numbers. We can have like 10,000 like this. That's a string. That's not a number. Okay. So this is what that is. All right. Yep. So, yeah. So the numbers from the buttons are strings by default. Anything from an HTML document, anything from here will be a string by default. Unless you use something called input number, but that's something else. All right. Okay. So I showed you the fix to our problem. I like the shade, Salam. so, so I showed you the fix to this problem, but no one likes to write this long, boring code. Okay, I'll show you the shortest way to do it. In programming, Salam, you want to do things as quickly and as efficiently as possible.
Okay.
Yeah. So the way we do it, okay, I'll do it underneath. So the best way to write line 23 now, we just go input doc value, okay?
Okay.
And then we go plus equals, all right?
Yes.
Number from button, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, so instead of going input value plus this, we just go input value plus whatever's going to happen plus equals that. This is the shorthand form. Okay. Maybe I don't know what your maths class is teaching these days, but you might have done something like where it says positive number minus negative number will give you negative, positive plus positive will give you positive. Positives times negative will give you a negative number, and etc. etc. It's the same concept, but we do it as plus equals, and watch what happens. Okay. In fact, let me put back that line for your reference, so it will make sense. Now we can still achieve the same results. You see, if we click the buttons endlessly, see that?
Now it works all together. But how are you putting a lot of numbers?
Oh, I'm just clicking. So if you look at my mouse, I'm just
now
clicking.
We can make 20.
Yeah, 20, like that. So I clicked 2 and then 0.
Okay.
Yeah, I clicked 2 and 0. Like if I want to make 400, I'll click 4 first, and then I'll click 0 twice, like that. And that's being lazy. only for this project, Cooper. I agree with you, but you mentioned I'm going too fast, and we have to finish this project tomorrow because next week, I'm gonna start teaching you guys how to do websites. Okay, that's
What's
my
the
next step.
website?
Website is basically anything that has pictures. Think yeah. What can I look at? Uh Let me try Coco Melon. I don't know.
Duck.
Yeah,
Ah, it's
yeah,
for babies.
yeah. So think of this.
Don't
That's a
want to look
website.
at it.
That's a website. You asked what a website is. That's a website. And that.
Oh, I want.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to get it.
So I don't know if there's any Coco Melon fans there, but that answered Salim. Right. So now we need to convert this to a number. Okay. We need we need to convert this to go back and just stop. Okay. So how do we do that? There's two functions we can use. There's something called parse int, meaning convert from string to integer. Now, what's an integer? An integer is just any regular number from 0, 1, 2, 3, going all the way to a billion. Okay. It's a number without a decimal. Now, what's a decimal? A decimal is a number with a dot in its thing. So you can go 3.5. That's a decimal. Okay. The integer would be number 3 or 4. Okay. So we want to use parse int, but the problem with parse int is you can't add decimals. You can't go, let's say 5.5 plus 9. You can't do that with parse int because it will round 5.5 to the nearest integer, which will be 6. Okay. Uh, so instead of using parse int, I want us to use something called float. Okay. So what is float? Float is basically the same as parse int, but we can include dots. We can include decimals in our values. Okay. So where do we do that? Simple. All we need to do first is we just go, that's the value there. But remember, we need to get our first number. Okay. So every time we do this, we want to go number from button. We go pass. Sorry for that. We go pass float. Okay. So we convert the number here to a number. Okay. And then we can go console.log, and then we go type off. Okay. We want to check if the number is now a string or not. And then if we run that, 7, 8, 9. You see, now it's a number now. You see that? Now we can do additions. We can do subtractions. We can do multiplication. We can do division. We can do everything. Okay. All right. So we're nearly there. We're running out of time, but we're nearly there because we've initially now come to the stage where we can get our first number. And then if we click any of these numbers here, yeah, you see, if you click any of this here, it will do the mathematical operations. Now, the reason it's saying NaN stands for not a number, okay? Because these are not numbers. These are just characters and symbols. All right. So the last thing we'll do before I let you guys go and give you the code on Slack is we want to then do a conditional statement where we stop these orange buttons and the equals and the full stop. Maybe we'll keep the full stop, but we want to make sure that these orange buttons are not interpreted as numbers. Okay. How do we do that? we basically say if the button is clicked, right? So we go if, if, maybe let me change this here first. We'll do the conversion after. Let's say if number from button is equal to division, which is slash, or if number from button is equal, I'll quickly fix this, is equal to plus, I don't know what's happening, is equal to plus, okay? Or if number from button is equal to x, because we want to multiply, or number from button is equal to minus for subtraction, then we do something in here. Okay, then we do our maths here. Okay. Else, if it's none of that, we want to then add our numbers. We need to store our first number. We need to get our second number. So we go get first number, and second number. Okay, so this is where we'll stop for today. Tomorrow is when we'll continue with our thingy, with our, how should I say it, our lesson. All right, so we've come to the end. I don't know, Coco Melon's the new thing in the chat there, so I don't know. But yes, we've effectively made a condition that we only get the numbers if they're on the gray side. If they're on the orange side, we don't get the numbers. We apply all maths to those numbers. Okay. Last question from you, Koopa, then I'll help Salim set up the code on her machine. Yes. You can go.
So, it's not a question about the work exactly, but when you said tomorrow we'll continue.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow for you it's Sunday.
Yeah, it's usually Sunday morning. So right now, my time is Saturday morning, Saturday 2 a.m.
Here, tomorrow is Saturday.
Tomorrow is Sunday for me. It's Saturday now. If you look at my screen,
How does that work?
Look at my screen. You see at the top there, you see the time and the date. You see it there? That's my date today. Yeah, because I'm always ahead of you guys. So that's my date. There you go. All right. Yeah. So tomorrow's going to be Sunday for me, but it'll be Saturday for you. That's the last lesson we'll do on a calculator, and next week we'll start doing websites. Not Coco Melon websites, Salim, but websites that you like. Okay. If there's no more any questions, I will hand it over to Mr. Philip to dismiss us. Then I'll help Salim with her code from Slack. Okay. Over to you, Mr. Philip.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.